I thought I'd do just a quick little review of this 2022 Honda Monkey, just a first impression anyway. I just picked the bike up yesterday. I ordered it about a month and a half ago. And if you're kind of on the fence, you know, whether you're a starter, a beginner rider, or if you've been riding for a while and just want an extra bike for a campground or whatever, just don't hesitate. There's no surprises. It's a fantastic bike. I've only got one complaint, and it's pretty minor. And that's why I bought it. I bought it because I wanted an extra bike just to teach people how to ride on and teach my wife how to ride and have to give her something to ride that I was comfortable with her on. So many people like to throw new riders on big bikes, and it's not a good idea, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I've been riding for 15 years, and, you know, as long as you can manage expectations, it is a blast to ride. It's fun. I don't know if it's because it's retro styled or what it is. But it's a blast to ride. It's not a touring bike. You're not going to do 70 miles an hour. You're going to do, you know, on a flat highway today, it's a 50 mile an hour bike, and 45 to 50 mile an hour bike. And if you have come up to any hill at all, you know, even a slight increase in the incline, you get down to 38, 39 miles per hour in a hurry. You have to get a downshift, but the engine, very smooth, typical Honda. They've been making this engine forever. This one is updated as a 5-speed. It's fuel injected, which is pretty cool. It has this awesome little speedometer. It winks at you when it starts up. Speedometer, fuel gauge, odometer. Pretty basic, but well set up. That's it. Pretty smooth. Typical Honda. When I first bought the bike, I wasn't sure about this muffler because it sticks out, and it actually, when you're sitting there, it presses up against your leg. But Honda did a fantastic job of doing the heat shielding around it. There's I'm not sure how they managed it, but a plastic heat shield around the muffler, and then a thin sheet metal heat shield on top of that. When the engine's running and hot, I mean, you can hold your hand on this, and it never gets hot at all. I mean, it's air temperature. Very impressed with that, because I thought that might be a problem, but it wasn't. So when you buy a bike sometimes for, $4,400 brand new, you expect that certain cuts need to be made in order to sell stuff at that price point. Usually stuff like suspension and fit and finish, and, things that they gotta kind of cheap out on a little bit to get down to that price point. But to be honest, the bike doesn't feel cheap at all. I mean, even the suspension, usually on the cheaper bikes, the suspension usually is one of the things that gets those cuts. But the front is the inverted fork, which I thought was kind of, maybe a little overkill for such a little bike. But no, it works great. I'm 170 pounds, and the front and the rear suspension, it's not Olin's by any means, but it works really, really well. I was impressed. Brakes, same thing. Front and rear disc brakes, ABS on the front. Just like the power delivery, and why this great bike is so fun to ride and great for a beginner rider is back to predictability. It's so linear. The brakes are not so grabby that you're going to lock up a wheel unexpectedly. It's just they do a really good job of stopping you, but they're also very predictable. It's perfect. Same with the clutch. The clutch is the easiest clutch I've ever had. I mean, it's a cable clutch, and you can use one finger if you want. I mean, it's just so easy. And then again, just like the suspension and the brakes, it's very predictable. It's very easy to use. Let's see. The seat, I wasn't expecting much out of. I thought it kind of looked cool, but I figured it's probably a bit uncomfortable. But it's fine. It's better than I expected. Yeah, it's no complaints there for what it is. It works great. Transmission shifts super smooth. Like I said, it does have a 5-speed for the 2022 model year, and it shifts like butter. It's a nicer shifting bike than my Super Tenere. Seating position, I mean, it's really, really tough for anybody to make a bike that is a one-size-fits-all. You know, you just have a lot of different body types and heights and stuff like that. But they did a really good job. I think they, you know, you can't really ask for much better for a bike out of the box anyway. And controls are really well laid out, pretty standard, you know, headlights, horn, turn signals, kill switch, electric start. LED lights, tail light and headlight, really bright. Well, I guess here's my one complaint, I guess. You almost have to try and find a complaint about this bike. So this side cover, just like side covers for many years, has attachment points, 3 attachment points with plastic pins that go into rubber grommets. That's pretty standard. However, on the Monkey, they want you to use this key. They want you to turn the key while you're removing the cover, and while you're trying to hold this key and pull off at the different points at the same time, it's just kind of awkward. It's not a major complaint. I could actually remove this lock assembly, and I wouldn't have to worry about that at all if I wanted to. All you're protecting is a cheap little Honda toolkit behind that cover. But that was it. That's like my only complaint. I didn't even know this, but they do have I'm not sure if the first generation bikes had it, but this one does have a helmet lock. And in the toolkit, there's a little steel cable that you can use for your helmet strap too. But that's it. It's for now anyway. It's like I said, I'm just talking in circles now. But if you're kind of on the fence about it, don't be. It's a Honda. I mean, it's what made Honda a great motorcycle in the beginning is because they just make really good quality, predictable motorcycles. Then what's kind of surprising is that sometimes when bikes are just too predictable and too, I don't know what it is, but sometimes it makes them kind of boring. But this bike is just fun to ride. But and I don't think I've heard anybody else say otherwise, really. I mean, minor complaints here and there, but it's pretty nitpicky because there's not much to complain about.